Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Obsessive Compulsive Gaming. I am the Obsessive Compulsive Gamer, and this is my review for The Last of Us Season 2, Episode 5. So dear viewers, if you don't mind, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and like this video. So dear viewers, don't you dare worry your cute little behinds, because I'm going to be as vague as I possibly can when I'm talking about this episode. But let's just say it involves Ellie and Dina traveling towards a very familiar location from the video game. An encounter with a character called Nora. Seeing two particular characters that haven't been in the show for a few episodes crop up again in rather spectacular fashion. One at the tail end of a particularly tense and frightening and exciting sequence in a giant warehouse thing, and the other one acting as a kind of cliffhanger at the end of the episode, which I'm sure is going to lead into a very, very good sequence from the video game in next week's episode. Told you I was going to be vague. But the main praise I have for this episode is the main praise I have for the show in general, and that is how much it is subverting my expectations as a Last of Us fanatic. Obviously, having played the first game, the second game, the DLC, I pretty much know how we're going to get from point A to point B, or at least I thought I did, but what the show is managing to do is to take familiar sequences from the video game. I'll use the sequence where Ellie is traveling through the woods in the second game when she comes upon the Seraphites. Even that sequence has been tweaked, has a couple of extra characters in it that are not in that sequence in the video game, and it's all in the name of subversion. The sequence with Nora as well, I'll just briefly touch upon, is also expanded from what we see in the video game. And I think this particular scene is another example of how good an actress Miss Bella Ramsey is. And I won't hear anything to the contrary. Mostly because I can't hear anything to the contrary, because there's no one else here. So the only person I can hear talking is myself. The relationship between Ellie and Dina is also continuing to impress me, especially given that in the video game I wasn't particularly a fan of Dina. But whether it's because of the casting in the show, whether it's because of the writing, but I actually absolutely love her character. And there's a very sweet exchange between her and Ellie in this week's episode, which I know the show's detractors are going to make fun of and meme the hell out of, but you know what? I don't give a fuck. I love it. Reviewing this show could be seen as slightly counterproductive for someone like me, because of course I'm going to love the show because I love the video game. But don't get me wrong, dear viewers, I have and will continue to call out anything in the show that doesn't particularly work for me. For example, I am still very concerned about how far we're actually going to get through the story in this particular season, especially given that we only have 2 episodes left. I'm worried that people are going to continue to drop off because we're not going to get to certain characters' redemptive arcs in this particular season. And whether people will have the patience to wait for the next season, in which I humbly believe all of that's going to pay off, well, that is still to be seen. And as a little prediction of mine, I do think that, though it's probably the most controversial thing about this show, aka the death of Joel, definitely one of the most beloved video game characters in existence, I think we're going to see a little bit more of him in the next 2 episodes, and that's all I'm going to say on that. So did I enjoy this episode? You bet your cute tush behind back end I did. So if you haven't watched it yet, then I suggest you do that right now. So there you have it, my trying to be very vague review for The Last of Us Season 2, Episode 5. If you enjoyed this little review of mine, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't enjoyed it, well then feel free to give me a thumbs down. But please remember the single most important thing I always tell you, dear viewer, and that is to always stay obsessed with gaming. Are you still here? Oh, you must have really enjoyed this video then. In that case, you had better subscribe to the channel and check out our other content. Otherwise, you're a booby pants, and no one wants to be a booby pants.